Live from Hollywood, we are back here on Rob Has a Podcast for the 20th anniversary special, 20th birthday party for Dancing with the Stars. What a night, what an episode. Tom Bergeron back in the ballroom. We have so much to get to tonight. Of course, I am Matt here. As always, returning after missing us. We missed her last week. It is Sasha Joseph. Sasha, how are you?
So happy to be back. What an episode. Happy birthday, Dancing with the Stars. We did it.
Happy birthday, Dancing with the Stars. Could not think of a better person to join us for such an important episode. Someone who is such a big fan of this show, has always been such a big fan of this show. It is you. It is Brandon Donlon. Brandon, how's it going?
Hey, oh my God, I'm so thrilled. I seldom have gotten to see a 20th anniversary of my favorite show. We did that in 2020 with Survivor, and then there was a pandemic right now. So only can go up from this 20th anniversary.
Yes. So much celebrating tonight, so much celebrating to continue. The party's going to keep going here all night long. Unless other headline of the night, unless you're a Fandy. In that case, the party's over, Sasha.
It was your time. We have suffered enough. Okay, enough of my faves have gone. So sorry to the Fandies, but it was time. That's it.
I think the Fandies probably knew this could have been coming sooner or later. We had asked, QT and I were talking last week and saying like, hey, if you're in the chat right now and you're voting for Andy, do you want him to win or what's the deal? And people were saying, I'm having fun with him, but no, I don't need him to win. So I wonder if some of the support backed off. I don't know. Brandon, your reaction to the result?
It felt very much like when your friend tells you that like their grandfather passed away and you're like, oh my God, that's so sad. And they were like, yeah, he was 101. And then you're like, oh, okay, right? He wasn't doing a lot. You know what I mean? He wasn't.
This was coming. Yeah.
Are we shocked?
Right.
He wasn't a kid. So it's what we
God.
love Andy. We love what Andy gave us, and for so many weeks I was so in on Andy progressing, and this was not the week. Everybody left is so good. Everybody left is a great dancer, and this is an open game. There's not an open and shut winner of the season. And I do think that having an Andy type to then boot out people who could win the season is not something that I rock with. And nobody loved Andy more than me. Andy's so fun. I love Andy. I'm glad Andy is no longer with us on the show.
On the show, please.
Distinct. Don't cut it. I'm so thrilled we have our final six.
Yeah, it's a really strong group as we gear up for next week's semifinals. It's going to be another really fun night. It's Prince night next week, so that should be fun. But again, the other headline of the night, as already mentioned, it is the 20th birthday for Dancing with the Stars. Sasha, can you believe the show has been on for first of all, for that long, let alone, as we've talked about many times, the resurgence that we're having today with the show. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I'm just like Jordan. I was also 4. Lies. But it's just like, wow. Again, I remember watching the show when it first came out. I remember, all of the craziness that came with being a Dancing with the Stars fan. I definitely fell off in the middle. Nelly, I think, brought me back.
Sure.
And it's just I'm really happy, and I'll say it now and get it out of the way, right? Like this week to me felt like, oh, okay, this is just like a full-on reality show, and that's it. Like they judges, whatever you want to say, insert, whichever verb, but it's giving reality show. It's giving like I don't really care about the dancing anymore. It's giving popularity contest. And if that's where we're going, I just personally need to like fix myself to be ready for it and to accept it. That I think that's the only thing like I wanted to say.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think you're obviously not wrong along the lines of this is a reality show. And we were reminded of that all night long with the birthday celebrations. Brandon, I cried for the first 15 minutes. And then eventually we'll get to Robert and Whitney's dance. And that just really kept it going. But the reality show of Dancing with the Stars that has been going on for so long. And yeah, Sasha, we have a lot to get to with the judging. We will certainly be getting there throughout the night. But the show, the people that are involved with the show, the relationships that have been formed from the show, Brandon, having been there almost every step of the way, at least for me, like Sasha, I fell out a couple seasons in the middle. I felt the emotions. I cried. Tom was back. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, the word institution gets thrown around with the shows like your Survivors or your Big Brothers, whatever. But Dancing with the Stars is also an institution, and that's clear by having maybe 50 or 60 people that have been on the show from seasons 1 to 33 last year that are in the audience. You're seeing family members of those people in the audience. They really have done such a great job cultivating a family. For the 20th anniversary special, my only complaint is I would have loved to have seen pros from like the middle.
Oh my God. Yes.
And then we've got the ones that are on now. But, where's Lacey Schwimmer? She's not here. Nope, called her. She didn't get the email that Ian Ziering got, who's in the audience. I am thrilled to see all the people that are familiar. And I'm thrilled to see Tom. I love Tom. And you know what? And Alfonso does. I can't believe they found a host at post Tom that can do as good of a job as Tom can. And Alfonso is that. I do love Tom. I want Tom as a judge. Bring Tom back as a judge full time.
Yeah. When we also of course had the original 6 pros that were involved in the opening number. We got all of them back, so that was really cool. There were definitely a lot of pros missing. I see some names in the chat that are popping up. Where was Karina? There's not all of the pros were back, unfortunately, but with Tom being the headline of the show, Sasha, when he came out with Alfonso and Julianne, and they all three, I mean, first it was Tom and Alfonso that like introduced the show, and Tom got to say the line. And then all three of them came out together and did some more introducing of the show. And I was melting in my seat.
Yeah, it's just even before that, right? Like the opening number itself was so beautiful. Brandon, to add on to what you were saying, I feel like I wish we got more of the older pros. Like this, they kept being like the 6 original pros, right? Like these were the Avengers, right? That started it all. We were getting so much hype around them, but then where were they? To me, they felt a little bit lost. Granted, I'll be watching a feed. So, maybe that's why. But I wish that they got some more spotlight because they were amazing, right? Like they didn't miss a beat literally when we saw them dancing. And it was just, chef's kiss to see it all. The opening number felt so good. And then it went into Tom. Oh, love. Obsessed.
Brandon, we'll talk about some of the individual critiques, of course, along the way. But what do you think of Tom on the judges panel? Like, especially that he ends the night not even talking to the people out on the dance floor, talking to the production of the show. He starts the night with who was the first couple, Elaine and Alan, and he comes out and gives Elaine a hug, and he just like couldn't control himself. He felt like felt like he knew this was his one shot to be back on the show. Not that he was trying to angle for a spot back, but just like let loose, have fun, and say whatever the hell I want to.
Well, and I think that like a case for him on the judging panel, I think does make some semblance of sense. It's funny, as like a comedian, he is like inclined to break form, and every time that they would hold the numbers up for during the judging portion, he always had like a funny quip that I'm sure he's been thinking about for the 20 years that he was on the show. Like, I love that. I think that's so much fun, and I really, he does have more like dance experience as he observed it for so long. And I love that this is a show that is, because it's an institution, it shuffles. Julianne and Derek are both dancers now doing their respective roles. What's the reason we can't bring him back in a full-time capacity? I think Alfonso, literally, there's no, he's such a brilliant host. I do not want that to change, but Tom could be somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're running out of spots of where he could go, but if we get that results show back, maybe there's something there. I don't know if we need the results show back, but I like the plea.
The scream I scrumped, right? Because I said, I don't know how the podcasting would work. Y'all gonna have to bring in a ringer for me.
2 nights a week.
Listen, that's hours, okay, of our time. But on paper, yes, bring it back. Because us West Coast, y'all are playing us. You know what I mean? We can't vote.
I just can't imagine like how they did that logistically. Like I follow them all on social media. I see the camera blocking day is on Monday and then show day is on Tuesday. Like, what are you going to start the camera blocking on Sunday? No one's working. Not that many people are going to work on Sunday. You get the people working in the studio. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a thing that's actually going to work. But hey, he called a shot, trying to make something happen there. But I thought he was a lot of fun all night long. And to bring it back to the beginning with the dance that Derek choreographed, he had been teasing this, Brandon, since before the season. I think we might have even talked about this on the draft, that he had been wanting to put together this performance that was to the Dancing with the Stars opening intro music.
Yeah, it could not have been cooler. I mean, it really, I loved every second of it. I loved, at this point in the show, I'm thinking that everybody is there. And then when I saw it was the pros that we saw, I'm like, oh, it's still cool. But I'm looking around and seeing everybody. But I really loved it. It was super well done. I like how diverse it was. I love that Julianne and Derek both participated in it. I think that's awesome. And I wanted it to keep going. I thought we would do more of that throughout the episode. And we didn't, and that's okay. Your anniversaries are about like being disappointed just like a little bit. I feel like it's in life. I think you're always supposed to not love the anniversary.
Oh my God. Here's the thing. I feel, and this came to me like literally as I was getting ready for the podcast, was what would, walk with me, everyone, that there were 6 pros they brought back. Why couldn't they have danced with the celebrities instead?
Oh, instead of like Rashad and Sochi.
Because I did like bringing back the winners too. So maybe we give the current pros a night off. I don't know how that works. Like, I'm not the logistical queen here, but I think it would have been so amazing to have them at least do something with the current stars. Like, why not? And it would have really been interesting to see that like old school ballroom like dance where these folks were, right, like so I don't know if brutal is the right word, but they have been through the ringer when it comes to like judging, when it comes to like how things should be. So I would have really enjoyed, I think, that mix with the new style that we get. So I don't know what like that could birth, but either way, it's just, I think I would have loved them to actually be involved with the pros. And some of folks in the chat were like, maybe they could have choreographed something. Yeah, that's mine too. I don't know, but I just think like I would have loved them to be like maybe a mentor, like Lily's saying in the chat, or like, I don't know. I just feel like we wasted them. Like, they came out. Let's give them something.
I know could we have not made really, the judges panel they had, the table that they had during COVID when it was like really long because they had to sit so far apart. Bring that table back out and let's get all 6 of them a chair. Let's do it. Let's score everybody out of 100. Why not?
I had the same thought with like SNL 50, who just did their 50th anniversary a little bit earlier in the year, where like I wish this anniversary special wasn't a proper episode of the show, as well as like a Sunday vehicle or something where we could get everybody and they're dancing the entire time, and it's an additional episode on the week. I understand the impulse, of course, to put it in the current season with everybody competing, but I would have loved to have just seen like a clip show with everybody. I mean, they're like, how many other co-hosts were there in addition to Tom? You had, 4 folks that cycled through. I would have loved
my girl
everybody
Tyra.
Back. Yeah, get Tyra back in here.
I think Brooke Burke was on a podcast this week saying, I'm good. I'm people, of course, are asking like, why aren't you going back? She said, I closed that chapter of my life. AKA, it doesn't sound like it ended on great terms, even all these years later. So
Erin Andrews, she's somewhere,
She's hosting 99 to Beat, isn't she?
She is. Maybe she's still in London where they filmed that. But that was my thought. Like, even SNL 50 in the moment, like, people had the same critiques as this, where it like feels a little bit disjointed and not fun. But like, most likely, we're never getting this group of people back in the same room at the same time. Exactly. And I there was a funny tweet that I saw of like SpongeBob pointing at the TV, of like me pointing out every celebrity that I see, which I was doing for 2 hours straight, and I loved it. That is my favorite thing. So I would not trade that for any experience that I got tonight.
the official Dancing with the Stars Instagram put up a post of like all of the people that were back in the ballroom. Maybe they actually ran out of tagging spots, because as I was scrolling through to see, oh, I don't recognize that person. Who is that? Who did they tag? They eventually did not have people tagged anymore. So I don't know. Maybe Instagram has a limit, but they started, and I was able to kind of piece some more of that together. It was fun to see a lot of, old faces back in the ballroom that we haven't seen in so long, especially like people from the early seasons. Really great to see all of them, especially when, to kind of bring this in here as well, we've lost a lot of the celebrities over the years. Sasha, Ezra, and Riley did a very touching tribute to them. A really beautiful dance. And I thought it was really intriguing that it was them that did it, because they're the new generation of the show, very obviously. And to just have them be so involved in honoring those who came before them, obviously not the pros necessarily, but the celebrities, and just everywhere that the show has been to this point, I thought was really sweet.
Yeah, and maybe this could have been a moment, right? Where we could have gotten Amazing Star in the chat says like maybe the older pros could have given this tribute instead of Ezra and Riley. For some reason, maybe because right, we're watching the screen instead of the dance floor. But yeah, I couldn't like connect as much with the dance, because I think I was just like, oh my gosh, like this person passed. This
Yeah.
person passed. I can't believe it. So I wonder how it would have felt if, like, yeah, the OGs would have done the tribute, but not to take anything away from Ezra and Riley necessarily, just thinking about that. But I like what you're saying, Matt, too, right? Like the new
Yeah.
generation and like kind of marrying both. So either way, it was really nice. And because we love this show so much, like it's not nothing is gonna be enough.
Yeah. And of course, it's not just the celebrities from the show that have passed. Unfortunately, we've also, of course, lost Len Goodman and Brandon. So there were a lot of references to Len all throughout the night, from Tom, who obviously spent so many years with him, the fellow judges. There were some segments about Len, and the judging panel as a whole. Carrie Ann and Bruno got to talk about that, and Derek joining, taking Len's seat and saying, it's always going to be an honor to fill that seat. So I'm a sucker for any time that they do mention Len. It always gets me teary, even though, as we were talking about before the show, there was some comments that were referencing Len in a way of like, oh, Len would have loved this. I'm not sure about that, but at least we're talking about him.
Would he? I don't know if he would.
How dare you stand where he stood?
Every time that Len is brought up, I think about how, for however many seasons of the show, Len was doing our show in LA and then flying to the UK and doing their show over there. And it was like, to think about the work ethic that takes. I had a 5-hour flight this week and I'm still feeling it. He's doing it
Yeah,
however
welcome
many,
to our life.
many more hours for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. He was so dedicated to the show because, he didn't have to. He could have left at any time, and he stuck around for forever. So I'm so grateful for him, and just to see the admiration that all these people that I have admiration for have for him is really cool. So I am thrilled about all the Len.
Yeah. Really touching, really sweet. And again, I love the opening number. I thought it was great. Just especially when they had broken it up with like the introduction in the middle and then getting back to dancing. I thought it was really all well done. And tough schedule for some of these people this week. I was paying extra close attention because there was some Disney involvement where Alfonso and I think the Huffs were all at a Disney park of some sort filming the Christmas parades this week that they usually host. And so Derek posted that he was like at Walt Disney World in Florida and then had to like fly back home, do an interview, like a really important interview. I forget who he was talking to, and then get straight to rehearsal. Alfonso did the same. He was in Florida this week. So they just were all over the place in a very busy, hectic week. But it was a great show when all was said and done. I also want to point out the Tom, Alfonso, and Julianne portion. Classic Julianne, when she like jumped over Tom to say the line about voting and then she flubbed it. I don't know if everyone caught that, but she did. She just kind of stepped over her words in a classic Julianne way. So that's what we have. That's what we have now. That's what Tom has left us with, and we're having fun. But Brandon, anything else from like just the nostalgia of everything before we get into the dances?
I mean, I won't. This will be my last time saying it, but you got everybody in the room. Like everybody was there. I know I'm seeing in the chat, Bill Nye was there, which I always love to see Bill Nye. I saw Allison Hannigan's there, and the folks from this season, were there. Let me just on Bill Nye for 2 seconds. I have a lot of Dancing with the Stars on my Twitter feed, and somebody put up Bill Nye's, I think, second out of 2 performances. Bill Nye was really good.
Yes.
Compared to what's going on now, look it up. Just search it. Search it when don't leave this window of YouTube, but search it later. He was really, really good. And it's like, oh my God, we've strayed so far from like we all watched that. And we're like, oh my God, he can't dance. He can really well.
Wow, he could have won the season 35, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not
He
season
could've.
34. Some good dancers out here. Yeah, really fun to see all those people. And I'm almost forgetting about the other big twist of the night. To obviously don't want to get too far away from that before discussing these former champions that were back. Sasha, we had 6 of them back for this relay challenge. We'll talk about the relay later on. But what do you think about the picks specifically? Who made it back to the ballroom tonight?
I loved it. We were actually talking about this with a few listeners over when everyone was in San Francisco last week about who would it be? Like, what do we think? I really thought Caitlin and Dylan, would be the pair.
Mm-hmm.
But putting her with Andy was so funny to me. So I really enjoyed it. I liked all of them. It's really hard because when you're a winner, right? Like you've got a bunch of folks voting for you. So it's not like you're some like random that you're like, oh, why is this person back? They all felt exciting. I was happy to see all of them. I'm also like, oh, but I wish this person was there and that person was there. Zendaya, but please.
Right.
But I wouldn't take anyone away. So that's how great this show is because their winners are so strong.
Yeah, they weren't brave enough to have Bobby Bones back, but that's something
Bobby
that
Bones
they
and
can
Andy should have danced
go for.
together.
Right, exactly. But they had, 6 great champions come back: Apollo, Rumor, Rashad, Caitlin, Sochi, and Joey. Now, Brandon, one of the first thoughts I had was, oh, it's crazy that like one of the winners is going to lose in the round of the relays. And I was like, well, Apollo does have experience coming back and losing so far. So like, at least he can handle it, but he ended up winning. So I don't know. What was your take on who we ended up seeing?
I liked it. I'm always pro All Stars. I would love to see any of these folks dance again. And it seems like
Yeah.
if you can get people to do it once, you could do an abbreviated, like they had the athlete season that was like 6 weeks with 6 people. Like you could do a 5-week long All Stars, have 10 people eliminate 2 people per episode. I would love it. You know what? Joey's really good at dancing. Joey's so good. My girlfriend and I on the couch, like, man, Joey's good. I love to watch everybody, but we definitely noticed that Joey still has it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, he was just
Sochi.
there too, to be fair.
Yes. A couple of very recent champions in Sochi and Joey, and technically Caitlin, only a couple seasons back. Caitlin, what an experience she got with one of the COVID seasons. She was living her dream, winning Dancing with the Stars. So I'm sure she's not complaining too much about that. But yeah, we'll talk about the individual dances as we go. Does anyone have anything else before we get into the couples?
Nope, let's
No?
do it.
Nothing, I'm ready.
All right, let's get into it. Although I did have one more note. I don't know if you guys saw it. Dancing with the Stars official Instagram posted this week. There was confusion at first because it was like, okay, Robert's going to dance with Bindi, right? Not Sochi. Where does Sochi get into this? So we thought that was going to be a thing. They had posted Bindi in the rehearsal space as we saw it in the package. But yesterday or the day before, they had to make an official post on their Instagram that was like, hey, just for clarification, Robert's not dancing with Bindi. He's dancing with Sochi. Just in case anybody's confused because you saw the clip going around of Bindi in the studio. And then meanwhile, cut to she's in the performance. So I don't know if they were trying to hide it and then did a bad job or what, but I've never seen like a clarification post like that, Brandon.
Yeah, it makes sense, like to have her involved in some capacity. Honestly, Robert and Sochi have such chemistry with one another. Put a pin in until afterward. So I'm not upset about the decision, but of course that Bindi's going to be involved. I mean, this was such a big thing for Bindi's family in the fall of 2015, like let alone now. Of course that I wasn't expecting the dance that he did. But of course she was going to be involved in some capacity. I would have loved to have seen her dance, but I think that's, when they compete next to each other on All Stars next year, and we can see that then.
Right. Well, in the meantime, let's get into these performances. And Sasha, of course, you were not able to join us last week. So I don't know if you have anything along the way of last week into this week, or either way, let's start talking about Elaine and Alan. We're moving on from last week.
Yeah, listen, Flavor Flav, shout out.
Yes,
Because, girl,
yes,
what
yes.
the hell was he doing? I loved it. This is
Nines
what
and
I
tens in the
mean.
wrong spots. Yeah.
Let's go crazy with the judging, baby.
Yes. Elaine and Alan kick off the night here with the salsa to It Takes Two. And Elaine's back. She was hurt, but she's back.
Yeah, I think this is where she said, I am back. Because at first I felt like, oh, this dance was too fast for the song was too fast for the dance. But then someone on Blue Sky was like, no, I think that's the point. Like they wanted to showcase, right, that she's really back and she wants to, showcase that, hey, my injury didn't get in the way. I really enjoyed it. I just felt like, yeah, I just felt like, again, the songs were throwing me off again. Like I'm back on that this week. Where the songs were throwing me off. I think if it was maybe a different song, it would have hit harder. But either way, I love them. I wish everything good for them. And I think my girl deserved at least 110.
You know what I would say I also had a bit of a confusion situation issue with. They were doing so much tonight. They were also trying to pay tribute to a former dance in each song, in each performance. And so they would like talk about it and they were like, oh, this was crazy when Mario Lopez and Karina did this. And it's like, wait, are we gonna like pay any attention to that, or are we're using the same song and whatever? There really wasn't a full connected line from one to the other, and in my mind it's unfortunate because I'm like watching Andy and Emma do a performance that Jordan and Lindsay crushed, Milo and Whitney crushed the first time around. So I'm like, well, I am now comparing it, and it's not a good comparison to be making. But Brandon, they still made the performances their own.
They did, but you said exactly what my thought was the lack of connective tissue. No reality show utilizes an iPad more than Dancing with the Stars. Like having to sit there and watch the dance, and then it doesn't look the same, or whatever. And like I would have liked it more if we want to pay homage to somebody who did not win Dancing with the Stars. Say, hey, Mario Lopez is great. He's here. He will tell you your song that is a new song. Like Mario Lopez it's just another vehicle. You have 40 people in the room. Let's utilize them in the show more rather than just panning to them after a dance. Like I would have liked that much more. That aside, this dance was really great. I think this was the best dance that I've seen of Elaine. It's the dance that I enjoyed the most that she did. I was expecting tens. Got no tens, which was interesting.
Yeah.
But not the dance that I was the most shocked about getting no tens of the evening. But I thought this was underscored. One of the only dances that was underscored, given that everything was perfect 40 out of 40.
Yeah. I definitely expected at least 110. I don't know if I expected this to be tens across the board per se, but I was also really I feel like I've been saying this a lot in recent weeks, but like looking at Elaine and Alan in this, being like, they could win. Like in a world where the votes just stay behind them, Elaine is powering through, and she's been good since day one. She's still good. She got really good scores early on, and we were like, oh, like they're showing respect for how good she is. And as the rest of the competition has settled into their perfect scores that we're talking about, they haven't quite gotten there with Elaine and Alan yet, or Jordan and Ezra, and we'll get there. But it is still, Sasha, I'm seeing the contender in these two.
Yes, I enjoy them, and it isn't like, oh, for Elaine is all these good things for her age. No, it just ends at Elaine is just good. I enjoyed it, and it is what it is. I'm like, again, over like talking about the judging. It's BS, and they're just gonna do what they're gonna do at this point. Like if you're a person of color or you're an older woman, all right, like Godspeed to you.
Yep. Danielle Fishel watching from the sidelines says hello, just as far as half of that grouping is concerned. I was so sad she wasn't here tonight. I know how much she would have enjoyed or wasn't there dancing. Also, Alan fell at the end, and that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's
everyone.
again, like, what was happening?
So
Yes.
I'm hoping that they will get there with at least getting more consistent tens, if not getting a perfect score before their season comes to an end.
Do you
But let's
think they
keep
come
on.
out next week?
I don't want to say yes, but I'm like, if it's not Elaine, I think just like we saw this grouping tonight, that is not actually the bottom three. I think it would be Jordan.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Mhm.
I think too.
I
Yeah.
agree with that.
So I don't know. And it's just like, I don't know. Coming into the season, I did not know that there was going to be such a big fan base for Elaine.
Yeah,
She
listen, even
feels
chat is saying voted like crazy.
Yeah.
she feels very like classic Dancing with the Stars to me, where she could have been on at any point in the show. And she's not only a very good dancer, but she's so likable. And
Yeah.
Alan is super likable. Alan has not like his partners have shifted in terms of who he normally gets in the show, and I think Elaine is new. And I think that people are just really enjoying watching her, as am I. I think every week I wasn't even, I was brokenhearted that she couldn't perform 2 weeks ago. And I thought that was going to be her swan song. I'm thrilled that it feels like we're on borrowed time that she's still here. And I hope that she progresses further, but I hope everybody progresses further.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just like picturing it's funny, the idea of like a Dancing with the Stars casual, as if like we use the term casual for so many other shows. Just like the average person that's sitting home watching the show and not thinking about it beyond what's on their screen that night. I'm like, I don't know. I think there's certainly a demographic that is not sitting there voting for Alex every week or voting for Whitney every week, some of these top contenders, and may be really just connecting with Elaine, just like plenty of the younger people are as well. So I shouldn't be surprised that she's getting the votes. I'm just pleasantly surprised. But let's keep on moving to Robert and Whitney. I, again, just couldn't stop crying. They knew we were going to be crying the entire time. And they end it, of course, with the video playing on the dance floor of Robert's dad and Robert as a baby, which was, I think, a direct replica of what they did with Bindi in her dance, or maybe not directly. I think it was on the screen rather than on the floor. Also sounds like they surprised him with that. Like he had no idea that was coming, which is kind of crazy, but got the emotional reaction that they were looking for. But it's also kind of crazy. So Sasha.
Yeah, can I just say that first of all, I'm pissed that they showed Mr. William. What is the reason? We're in America. We beat the British. Monarchy is done here. No kings, all of that. Just kidding. I just like personally do not like Mr. William. And so like that pissed me off because I was just like, don't no. So it's -1 point already because of that, because of me. Okay, like get out of here, number one. And then secondly, I also felt like the dance itself was beautiful. Bindi joining in again felt like give her more, let her move some more, just like we said for Terry, right? I give her some more. But did you feel icky that he didn't know that they're gonna like trauma porn him like this? Or
That's
is
the
that
tough
just
part.
me?
No, it felt weird just knowing that after the fact, but I also needed to take time to process that after I was done bawling my eyes out from his reaction, Bindi being there when the three of them are holding hands, which like maybe Whitney could have stepped at the side from that, but it's okay. And then Tom making comments, like the whole thing, Brandon, was just such a tearjerker that it did distract me from the fact that he was blindsided.
Yeah, and
It's weird.
He fell.
He did, yeah.
So I'm wondering the logistics of rehearsal. He finishes the dance in rehearsal, and then there's nothing, and nobody gives him a heads up that it'll be there. Like it feels weird, right? That's weird.
Yeah.
Did Bindi know? Did anybody know?
You also would think that they might suspect it, or I don't know, maybe just with the craziness of the week, it didn't come up. Because if they're watching Bindi's dance, this was the tribute to Bindi and Derek's dance to the same song from Bindi's winning season. Obviously, the last time that Derek was a winning champion here. So obviously, it's not just like the Irwins, which a lot of it is, but this win meant a lot to Derek, means a lot to the show. This family means a lot to the show. You know, how many times are they going to say it? And it's just all very beautiful, very touching. And they I don't know if it sounds harsh to say like milked this all for everything it was worth, but like they did, and it worked on me. I was crying the whole time.
Yeah,
So there.
exactly. I want to say it worked. I feel like he got a little bit overscored because of it. You know, Irwin, winner, we get it.
Yeah.
It's happening again. Shout out Brandon's team, but I think Devin. Happy birthday, Devin. I bet, Devin, the chat, I bet production told him maybe there'd be a photo. He just maybe didn't know it was
Sure.
that photo or that video. And that I will allow. And it made me feel okay if that's what it was. But either way, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that he just like didn't know. And it was hard. But even without the picture and the video tribute, I still think it was a tearjerker, and I think having Bindi in was beautiful. And now I must ask everyone. Carrie Ann said, "I don't give a F about lifts. We're back, baby."
What are we doing here? What are we doing? I'm thrilled for Robert. I think this was his best dance. That wasn't his first dance. I think he's a rare case where his first dance blew me away, absolutely, and then every dance after that was good, but it didn't do that. This dance didn't blow me away. But Carrie Ann, and this decision mixed with the next round of judging for Jordan, who I wish I could text and apologize on everybody's behalf. It's just like, what are we doing here? What is this? I'd rather you just not say it, Carrie. I'd rather you just
That's
don't
it.
even
It's
bring
like,
it up.
yeah. Because now it's just like sticks with you a little bit. You're like, wait a minute. You're just overlooking that, even though you've taken points off for a lift for everybody in the audience right now that has ever done a lift at a time that they weren't supposed to. But now the lift police are gone. And look, I get it. This was so emotional. Imagine taking a point off on this emotional performance. She would all sincerely, she would have been getting death threats in her inbox for
Yeah,
the
probably.
rest of the season,
Agreed.
for a long time to come. So like there's more aspects of this of like why I get it. But and like it's worth commenting on, I guess, because she wants to give the feedback, but it all just doesn't make sense. And then it's tougher when, as you guys are pointing out, there's other performances throughout the rest of the evening that she is going to take points off for just because they don't have the same, story, I guess. And that's not fair to some of the other couples. Like it's a tough competition when not everyone is being graded on the same scale, and that's always been the case, but it's still tough when it's actively happening in front of you. It was a beautiful performance, everything was great, but that is fair, Brandon.
And I do think, like you are, like you just said, Matt, you are damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like if you deduct the point, everybody's mad. If you do this, I think some people are mad and not everybody. But I think blatantly saying you made a mistake,
Yeah,
but I don't care.
but I'm ignoring it.
That's the wrong thing. That's the
Yeah.
thing you shouldn't do. If you're damned if you don't, damned if you don't do the middle thing, which is that.
Yeah.
Although I do think this was his best dance that wasn't his first one. I do maintain that.
Agreed.
I think
It was
that it
really
was very,
good.
very good.
Yeah.
So again, I would have given, like, if I didn't notice the lift, I don't know dance. I'm not a professional. Like, I thought that was the best that I had seen from him. And I would have given it a 10, but yeah, Carrie Ann is just, it's a tough night for Carrie Ann from me personally.
They were locked in. This pair, I really think, like you said, I agree. They had the best performance since the first week. So, we're obviously looking at them as very likely winner candidates, and I feel like this week really brought them back to that light. Sasha, the idea of Robert not having seen Tom Bergeron since he was 11, not that it's 10 years later, but a lot of youngness was highlighted on this episode. Riley was 2 when the first season premiered, if anyone didn't catch that.
I'm telling you, it's just how do we make Robert the winner? Every single line has to like bam, hit it, bam, hit it. Because even Derek's judging, mind you, this week, usually I'll take like notes, right, on their like absurd things that judges have said. This week, I didn't even take notes on that because my head was spinning every time they opened their mouth. And this time, Derek was like, and I, am part of your story. And no, you can't open with that. That's crazy. He was on the floor crying for his dad. And you're just like, yeah. And, Steve would have been so proud. Why is Derek acting like he knows Steve?
I don't know what happened years ago.
What? No.
Probably didn't. I don't know.
Steve died when Robert was like a baby.
We just all feel like we are,
that's
honorary
real.
members of the
Very
Irwin
millennial
family,
of
or we
him.
want to be. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like so. Again, I am fully in the like we just have to laugh at this point. And this week, I feel like they weren't even trying to give any technical feedback. I think that's why Carrie Ann was really pissing me off this week, because I was like, oh, we're giving random, we're just like catching one feedback from this guy. And then bam, it was like they would just throw it out. And if you caught the feedback, great, or sorry for you.
Yeah.
And then some people, they were just like, you're hot and we love it. And goodbye.
Oh, we have those coming up. It's not this next couple,
like,
but they're
we
coming
have
up.
to laugh because like I'm gonna go crazy.
Or we go crazy, exactly. But let's talk about this next couple who, I mean, look, judging definitely comes into play when we talk about them. I'll say, luckily for those that have been frustrated with this extended experience of Andy, luckily for that group, it is over. Obviously, for the many Fandies out there, we sympathize with you and your heartbreak. Personally, I'm content with this ride coming to an end here. Brandon, what do you think of Andy and Emma's last night on Dancing with the Stars together?
Now, I have obviously not been here for the coverage this season, so I do want to say Andy's improved. Andy has gotten better week to week, and I love that. That's the spirit of the show. I think the judging, they've given up on giving hard critiques because they are not landing, and we're here to watch Andy have fun, and I think that's awesome. This was fine. This was good. It was better than he would have done a couple weeks ago. I'm into it. The judging does now seem a little like patronizing, almost, where it's like you're doing it, and I'm so proud of you for doing it. Derek's like, I can't believe that you're out here entertaining it. Like, at a certain point, I wish they would just kind of yada yada the judging and not make such a meal out of it, because again, when other people who dance get underscored and they make a meal out of it in a negative way, it drives me, who loves this show, crazy.
He was getting the same critiques that he's been getting every week, if you can even call it that, Sasha. It's like, you are doing it. You are out there. You are dancing. I mean, Bruno's assessment was it was quick and had plenty of steps. I mean, I think as the chat's pointing out, was it that quick? In my mind, I saw that Andy was doing a quick step a couple of days ago when they announced the songs. And I said, oh, producers are ready to end this ride here. They said, give him the one style of dance that we have not yet given him, and that is going to really crush him. And it did with the scores. Before we get to the bonus points, which he obviously wasn't going to get any more of, he's in a whole different first digit than anybody else. We got 3s and 4s, and Andy's back in the 2s.
Yeah, Josh said this best. Like, Andy has improved, but he's improved from a 3 to 4 to a 5 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the perfect encapsulation of how I feel. I enjoyed watching this. I want to make it clear. I was like, oh, he's moving. He's like, he has this, that, and the other. He has some fans for the Fandies. And I'm just kidding. I know like Derek made that up for us. But I just felt like if someone is on this show for this long, they're statistically going to improve, right? Like it'd be a disaster if someone couldn't go from like standing to like moving a little bit. And so I'll give him that. I have nothing to take away from Andy. I actually think it is all on the judges for being annoying and not knowing how to score. I think that's it. That's my only frustration. Like, the man is doing whatever. Shout out Emma. Okay, she said, I'm gonna pull out the fog machine so you can't see his feet. I'm gonna give you a fan. I'm gonna count him down. YOLO. At this point, I think, and here's how like crazy I was last week when I found out Danielle was eliminated. I said, let him win. At this point, he should win the show.
Yeah, I don't know if you were the
Screw
only
it.
one. It was starting to feel like a lot of just putting our hands up in the air, kind of calling for whatever.
The comparison that I've seen to Andy is not Bobby Bones, but it's Bill Engvall who gets to the top 4 of season 17
With
Or
Emma.
Harry. Yeah.
Elizabeth Berkley gets eliminated before Bill Engvall. Leah Remini gets voted out before Bill Engvall, excuse me. And I think that's a different comp because Bill Engvall was like very, very good. Like Bill Engvall was not the stereotypical person who goes far in Dancing with the Stars, but he was very good and he continuously week to week improved. And he was also Emma's first partner. That is not the situation. And I do not fault Andy or Emma whatsoever. Andy's
Nope.
so much fun to watch. Andy's having a great time. I love this show to watch people like Andy, but I do think the like infantilization of Andy when we're judging is not super cool when we are actively like I want to move on to the next dancer
Wait,
in a crazy way.
And here's the tea. We're in one dance, we're treating him with kid gloves, but on the other hand, Carrie Ann called him sexy beast. And what about that, baby?
Hey, I like a maroon moment. It was pretty good.
No,
Right?
like
They
it
were in
was
maroon, right? Yeah.
it was when the
Thanks.
abs was out.
Well, no, I know. I'm just talking. She was saying the whole night he was.
Oh,
different.
fair.
Yeah,
No,
the
he
abs were
looked great,
lovely.
but it's just the fact that he can be all encompassing. I love it, girl. I
Yeah.
love it.
And not for anything, they're going to do this Dancing with the Stars tour in the spring. Andy will probably do like 2 or 3 dates, and the crowd's going to go crazy for
The
Andy.
tickets for those
love
shows
it.
will be
Oh
through
my
the roof.
God.
Yeah.
And I'm really like, I'm so thrilled for him to get the experience. I have watched him and enjoyed his content. I said this on our cast assessment for a long, long time. I think he's a riot. And I'm so thrilled that he got to do this. And I'm thrilled that he will be a part of like lore in Dancing with the Stars history. But I am okay with the journey ending when it ended.
I was watching the TikTok live that Britt and Brandon were doing from like the red carpet before the episode. It was like an hour before the episode. And they were just talking to everyone who was passing by as if it was a normal red carpet, celebs, pros. Carrie Ann stopped by and they were just having some conversation. And Brandon made comments about how Carrie Ann, we never talked about how the week that I went out with Lauren, we got the same score as Andy and Emma. And like, really? You sure about that? And Carrie Ann was like, oh, like we'll talk about that sometime, like just kind of like running away from the conversation. And like it was awkward and it was fine, whatever. And then you go to tonight where the 8 that she is going to give Andy is obviously incredibly close. Did anyone else get an 8 from her? I feel like it was a lot of 9s and 10s otherwise. I don't think there was
He
other
was the
8s.
only, yeah.
But still, like 1 point off from Jordan, from Elaine. Like it's just, that's the crazy part. And she was, I mean, she's been told this all the time. It's not like just because she talked to Brandon made me think she was going to do anything different, but it was like to hear that 1 hour and then still obviously her scoring is the exact same as it is. Overcorrecting for some reason, giving an 8. Like, I mean, look, it's fun. It's good. He's going to get a lot of votes and he has been every single week. But what are we doing? And yeah,
Listen, we just have to go with the flow and no more, but just Carrie Ann was on one.
Yeah. And I couldn't stop thinking about Jordan and Lindsay's performance of this that they were, paying homage to. It was one of the most memorable for me, even in a time that I wasn't really watching Dancing with the Stars, but having like watched it back, it's really good. So to give that to Andy and Emma, I was like, oh, brutal. But anyway, they're gone. It's done. No more Andy Richter on Dancing with the Stars until the finale. He'll be back and they'll dance again. And, that's that. Dylan and Daniela, Sasha, I just have a feeling I should start with you on this one.
Daniela is so hot, you guys. Like I can't. I don't know what else to say. It's
Correct.
And I hate to objectify people, but I don't, because she's just so brilliant and she's so smart. And every time she gets a partner, it's just the way her brain works in to get them exactly where they need to be and to get them to hit the right marks. baby, I'm not looking at nobody but Daniela. When Dylan held her and she did the kicking thing, are you kidding me? Oh my God. It's just she eats his ass up every time, but not like sexual. You know what I mean? Like I just meant like dancing wise. Like she literally runs circles around him. And I love watching them, but really her. And I personally don't understand the like him getting the you're now a leading man moment, all of that, because I'm still staring at Daniela. Okay, I'm obsessed with her, and their outfits were hot. I don't know. It's just I loved it. This was very hot. And I did not think that if I'm watching the pro and not the celebrity, it should get all the 10s. But I think it should have at least gotten 110. And that 10 from me to Daniela.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about both of Dylan's dances tonight because while we'll still get there, but like Daniela is the star. Danny is the star of everything she ever does. Did I correctly see? I think she was dancing with Derek in that opening number.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like of all the dancers here, who did Derek say I need to have this person by my side? Not my sister Julianne Hough, a pro dancer for as long as I've been alive and known her. He said, "Give me Danny because the things that she does on this dance floor week after week are just out of this world. That's not a real human being. Like I don't know what species of a thing of a whatever she is. That's a dancer. It's not a human being, it's a dancer. And she is just so incredible. We've known this ever since she's been on the show, and we see that with Dylan, and it's hard to not pay attention to the fact that she is so overshadowing him because she is dancing well and he's dancing okay. I think he had a really good night. I think both of his performances I thought were really good, but obviously she's still Danny. She is that girl and she always will be. When we got to see Dylan later in the night perform with Rumor, I was like, oh, I'm so excited to see him separated from her so I can actually see what he does. And I got to say, I was still impressed, but that's because Rumor was also still really good. So both of them he's gotten really good luck, Brandon, with the partners.
But I do think his Rumor dance was like infinitely better than the dance that he did here. And I think that he was dancing more in the Rumor dance. Like I think that partnership almost makes more sense to me than him and Danny. And I don't know who Danny's like ideal partner is, because is it like a Jason Mraz who's like an objectively great dancer and you can see both of them at the same time? Like Daniela wins with Aman, who was a very, very good dancer, not a great dancer. The routine they did from Us to I Got Five on It, like that was a phenomenal dance that I watch on YouTube a lot. But I think that's just a testament to how great her choreography is, and she knows where to put Dylan and where to put Aman, So I don't know who her ideal person is, but when I saw Dylan and Rumor, I'm like, this is better than what he just got a 10 for to me.
Oh, but no argument for me. I enjoyed, and Danny even said, "You're gonna see it with Rumor, and you're gonna he's gonna kill it." Yeah. And she was completely correct. I felt like it was so much fun to watch him with Rumor, even when he threw her across the stage.
I said, "Where'd she go?"
Oh my God. I said, "Please tell me there's someone to catch, like a foam."
He threw her into season 37.
Yeah, this just happened with my football team where someone ran into a brick wall and got a concussion. So I'm like, please tell me there's someone like with foam, things to catch her. But I really enjoyed him with Rumor. I said, oh, now maybe he can stay if that's the Dylan we see. But it's so unfair because she's just that good. And here's the thing, Brandon, to your point, because I didn't think of this before. I think Daniela needs like a really tall partner so that they physically overshadow her, and then that levels them a little. I don't know if that makes sense because I'm just, replaying that Us dance in my mind, the Halloween night. And I didn't feel like I'm not looking at Iman, right? Like it felt like, okay, I'm watching both of them. It's still interesting, but I wonder it's because she's so good because you literally need someone to overpower her. Otherwise, it's crazy.
I want to cancel Dancing with the Stars. Hold on. and do Dancing with the Pros, where it's just Danny and Mark Ballas or Danny and Derek like dancing together every week, and I'll still vote, or I don't know. We'll find a different way to have the competition go on, but get rid of the stars. Just the pros. Like sometimes I just need to watch them. And look, I guess that's a plug for the tour, which I need to, get a ticket to, even though they're crazy expensive. I'm like already looking forward to this holiday special that's coming up after the finale, because I know she's going to be all over it. But I love Danny, and this pair have been really improved. They've been a lot of fun. I wasn't surprised by the perfect score. I feel like in my mind, maybe it was like a 39, but how do you really justify the 39 and ask one judge to not give the 10? So this ending up being a 40. I wasn't surprised. I guess I was just more surprised because I never really thought Dylan Efron was going to get perfect scores on Dancing with the Stars, but here we are.
I do want to say, though, I do think he is a very, very good dancer, Dylan. I do see he did not start good. He did not start with dance experience. The first week dance had me nervous. I was like, this is going to be a short journey. And then he kept getting better and better and better in the way where Andy gets better marginally. I think Dylan really, really has improved and turned into a great dancer, which again is the spirit of the show. So I'm all in on Dylan. It was just funny for me to now see him with Rumor and be like, oh, this feels very naturally great together. Whereas not that him and Danny are not great together, but there was something missing there that I feel like Rumor gave him. And I don't know enough about dance to know what that is, but it was something.
No, I think it's actually that they were more evenly matched in their skills. I think that's it. And I really appreciate chat also pointing out, right? Like Danny's also had Dwight last season, but Amanda and Joseph said, right, like Danny needs a ringer that can hang with her.
It's gonna be like the most unfair thing to happen to the show.
It's over.
Since Robert Irwin was cast on the show, is how unfair it's gonna be when Danny has her next ringer. It's gonna be over. But I will look forward to voting every single week. So they're obviously looking strong going into the final couple of weeks. I think we still kind of have them on our radar of like a team that could fall short, whether that's before the finale. At this point, maybe I'm not seeing that, but like a 4th or a 5th place, unless they've got more momentum than I'm aware of as far as the vote goes. I don't know how much the Boston Rob bump is really doing for him. But
oh my god! And Chanel Ayan, hello. She was
they were all there together.
Oh my god, my girl is here.
Yeah.
Dylan's family and friends. Like I can't with these traitors.
Michelle was there again. Funny. Yeah, look, whoever the heck that season 4 pick is going to be. By the way, Traitors season 4 cast member Mark Ballas out there on the dance floor. I don't know. Traitors season 4 cast member Rob Sesternino.
Could be anybody.
Could happen.
Imagine.
You know what that R stands for in RHAP? If anybody's new around here and only has checked out the Dancing with the Stars coverage on this network, there's a guy by the name of Rob. This is Rob his podcast network. Yeah. He's going to be on a show next year. You should watch it. And maybe we'll see him on Dancing with the Stars. But anyway, ready to keep on moving to Jordan and Ezra and the underscoring heard around the world. Sasha, I'm going to bounce right back to you.
This one actually pissed me off. Okay, so I don't think it was their best dance because I want to be fair. It's not right to say that. I think the outfit did not work either. And I want to like position that with Alex's outfit that just flowed so well and really put me into the mood. Again, like Get Up by Sierra and Chameleonaire is a hip hop dance, and that's where Ezra like shined, right? Like when he put in those moves, them like doing the pop on each other, hot, right? Like again, I was really into it, but I don't know. The wardrobe did not work for me. The song didn't work, but I didn't hate it, and I personally feel like it should have still gotten at least 110. I still think the scoring was way too low for what they gave other people. Not because this
performance was a clear perfect score.
Right. I don't think it should have gotten perfect 10s. I want to be clear. And y'all know this is my fave. It was fun, but I felt bad that Jordan got this.
we've elevated so many of the other couples and said, even if it's not, I
Oh,
guess like
Derek did
Whitney
give
or
it
Alex
10.
levels. I'm
Sorry,
sorry,
y'all.
say that again.
Derek did give it 10. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
no, we got 110, but
I forgot.
it did feel like, again, like a lot of the other couples, even if they're not at Whitney or Alex level, have just been given higher scores and given so much praise because they've been improving so much and they're consistently doing really good performances. And that's kind of what Jordan and Ezra are at right now, but they're not being given the same, like, hey, we're ready to just give you tens because you're doing well. Whereas I guess you could say that Dylan certainly is. So that's kind of the tough part, where it's like, you see with Carrie Ann talking to Andy or Dylan, and she's like jumping out of her skin, ready to praise and throw the 10 paddle out there, or the 8 paddle for Andy. But for Jordan, she just like immediately wants to start giving notes. And it's like, what's the difference? Like, why? I don't know. And I agree with you, Sasha. This wasn't her best performance. It was really good, but it still feels like it's a different scale for Jordan, for Elaine, specifically though for Jordan, where I don't know. And she covers it
Just
up
like
as
for
she always does.
Chandler.
Yeah, she covers up the score, the critiques with, "Hey, here's still a 9. Don't get mad at me." But Brandon, I know you're on the same page.
For a night where there's very little critiques, and the one critique that is given is you lifted your foot, but I don't care because this was sad and I really liked it. Like maybe I'm missing something. Like what? Like one, I don't want to defer to the what are we doing here, but it's like the underscore, and it just seems to be Jordan. Like I understand Elaine also, but it really just it doesn't feel great. And I was just, I tweeted, I'm like, am I missing something? I don't know dance. I don't know why this dance, from a technical perspective, is nines, while Dylan and Robert, like, and Elaine are all, higher than that. Like I know Elaine also got a nines, but I understand why this is higher than Andy, no doubt. But it's just like maybe I'm missing something. The only explanation I can think of is that I'm missing something. I don't want to explore a different hypothetical,
Imagine if they
but
gave good critiques so we would know what went wrong.
And
yeah,
I don't know if
it's
the
just
something has anything to do with Ezra, but sometimes I wonder if maybe like the judges as a whole are not at the level where like they look at a dance from, I don't know, just like some of the other male pros, like whether it's a Val or a Mark, who are obviously like, I'll say like Mark is in like a league of his own, but like there's an immediate respect of like, I have to look at this from the perspective of like, clearly you were going for something. And if I didn't see the vision, then that's on me. For Ezra,
Mhm.
we're still, because he's such a baby pro here, I feel like we're still like giving the window of opportunity that maybe he did something wrong or his vision wasn't executed well. And that's fair to an extent, but it feels like they're getting a double whammy of extra harsh critiques. And I feel like it's not just Jordan that's getting the criticism. So
Yeah, and the last criticism I wanted to call out, but before that, Jalen also said at least Carrie Ann had some critiques. I can't. That's real because the boys just raved about her. Yeah, again, I said this last time I was on the pod. They keep giving good feedback, but then the scores don't match. Sure, that I think Carrie Ann gave feedback, but Carrie Ann actually this time didn't. Carrie Ann said, "You're a little wild at times." What does that mean? It feels racial. I'm sorry to tell a black woman, like, it felt wild at times. This is a gymnast, right? Like, she can control her body more than most people on this show can. Like, what are we talking about? I also, it they were hip hop moves, right? Like sprinkled in it, which I feel like maybe is where she was giving that feedback for. And then she said something about the shoulders, blah, blah, blah. But baby, you don't care about lifts. So now we care about shoulders, right?
mhm.
Like, what's the tea? Either way, it's just I didn't understand the feedback. I feel like they could have been better feedback.
Yeah, and it's what this is what I was saying earlier with like the Robert of it all. It's like, well, there was a very deep and emotional story happening with the Robert performance. And so we were paying attention a lot to that. And it's like, how could you give a lower score in a performance like that, even if you wanted to, aka Carrie Ann wanted to give a 9 because of the lift, but she's like, yeah, I'm forgetting about that. Here, because there's no emotional story, again, it's like a little bit of a disadvantage that Jordan and Ezra don't get to have that boost of they made me feel something because of additional context, so it kind of holds them back a little bit. I don't know if that has anything to do specifically with the scoring. Obviously, Jordan gets 1 point less than Robert, and I think that ultimately is fair, but it's just like the conversation is so different, and the tone is so different. I almost feel like the audience was acting different in reaction, because it was just like they didn't know what to say to the judges' reactions. And I don't know, there's just something going on here that I don't like, from just the vibe of where this is going. I feel like I know where this is going as far as these two outcome on the season. It doesn't feel like the most likely winning pair, although they have just been so good and so fun all season that I'm sad about that.
Well, that's exactly my thought, is like, I haven't in my head charted exactly 1 to 7 of who I think is the best to worst answer. I think Andy is 7 of 7. I don't think Andy would disagree with that. But I think Jordan's in the top 3. And I thought Jordan was in the top 3 of like just pure natural dance ability since week 1. And the scores have not for a week matched up to that, I don't think. And I'm just wondering where that is on my end, where the inconsistency is.
Yeah.
Because she has it. Ezra is great at what he does. He is passionate. He's, shot out of a cannon from last season, ready to take this on. I just don't understand week to week why we're not seeing progression of scores with the judges. When this dance, I can't remember. I did like Jordan's dance a couple weeks ago. I thought it was the best of the night, and I'm forgetting which one that is. So I do not think this was Jordan's best dance, but I thought it was really good. I thought it was really, really good. And I'm confused at the feedback.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens next week. I feel like Carrie-Anne's probably going to hear the commentary from fans of like, you did it again, and then again try to overcorrect next week. So actually, let me call my mark right here, right now. She's giving Jordan a 10 next week, no matter what. I'm sure Jordan's going to earn the 10, but Carrie-Anne's giving Jordan a 10 next week, and mark that down.
I don't want to jump ahead too much, but it's funny they do this package where they're showing the intricacies of how the voting is happening, and let Carrie-Anne be the talking head that's like, sometimes somebody says something nice in front of me and then I have to give the critique, which to me, after just seeing this like 15 minutes before, I'm like, oh, that's why you gave that's why you had to give that critique. But yeah, it is, I don't know. I don't remember Carrie-Anne being like I remember Carrie-Anne's feedback to Chandler also feeling weird. And Whitney danced next.
Yeah.
Whitney was the next answer.
Yeah. And I think chat is correctly calling out exactly, I think, what we're all trying to say. But they have a few different points that I also wanted to bring up, right? Like Salvatore says, right, if Andy wasn't given an 8, I think we would be fine with 9s. I think, we've said this like week after week about like the scoring, we're just in different parts. And then Dana, right, like saying Carrie-Anne was trying to say maybe her transitions weren't clean, blah, blah, blah. But like, neither do the men. But they're still getting the 10s. So yeah, it's just I like really enjoy, like appreciate these comments. And Francesca is correct that like Jordan, her issue can be her arms and shoulders. That's totally fine. But why are we giving Andy critiques of like, you're a sexy beast, you're this, you're that, the other, right? And maybe Andy's not fair because maybe they've like the judges have given up, right? And they're just like vibes only. But to say like, hey, Whitney, your like foot went up, right? Like I saw it, but I don't care about lifts, but I'm still going to give you a 10, to then comparing that to this, that, and the other. That's the issue. Like we're saying, we're noobs. We don't know ballroom. Tell us why she deserves the 9.
And the judges set the tone of the conversation before the viewers are about to go vote.
Yes.
So like when they say all of these positive, fun things about Andy, you wonder why Andy's been going through every week, besides the fact that obviously the fans have already decided to, his fans have supported him. But it's just like in that moment when people are picking up their devices to go vote, they're hearing, oh, this is so fun, Andy. And then they're hearing Jordan, oh, not your best. So.
And I also like, again, not a professional. I only know dancing from this particular program. So the critique or the feedback, you were a little wild, doesn't make sense to me as a home viewer when I can't rewind. And I mean, I guess I can observe what I interpret Carrie-Anne's wild to be, but like a tangible piece of feedback of like, yes, you lifted your foot up or you did whatever with your shoulders, what have you. I appreciate that much more than like a just general vibe of the dance that isn't necessarily targeted at something that also drops your score. Like I go back and I don't see that thing.
Yeah.
And that I think is immensely frustrating.
And you can even say like Ezra, like I wasn't understanding like the hip hop transitions with the cha-cha. I don't know that worked well. Fine. I won't that makes sense to me, right? Like cuz you're trying to judge a ballroom dance competition. I that makes total sense to me. But again, it's just the way sometimes Carrie Ann speaks to women of color. Again, we've talked about it with Chandler, and Ryan brought this up in the chat. Remember Chandler begging for critique, right? Like I remember when she was crying and she was like, "But tell me, what do I need to improve?" So it's just I don't know what they can do because I don't think they were rushed this week. I'm sorry. I don't feel that way. Tom was just talking anything, right? Like he was like, I don't even want to give critique. I'm just gonna say bring the result show back. And that's what I feel like I want from like a fun non-ballroom judge.
Yeah.
Right? Like just this silly, like throw out whatever, right? And I just if they don't have a lot of time between scoring, but you've done this for freaking so 30 something seasons, my guy. Like enough.
Yeah. Look, I've seen a couple of people, maybe not totally agreeing with our commentary. Look, we're three people giving commentary on what we saw and our perspectives on the show. So just in case anybody doesn't agree with all of this, then obviously that's totally fine and totally. We all watch the show how we watch the show, and happy to hear, as always, anybody's thoughts in the comments of the YouTube page or on social media of what you are thinking along the way. So talk back when you can. I don't know, after the podcast we'll chat. So that's that for Jordan and Ezra. Let's talk about Alex and Val, second to last couple before we get to the relays. Singing in the Rain, a tribute I guess to Neve and Jenna from season 29. And Brandon, another perfect score. Well, I would say another perfect score for the night, not another perfect score for Alex, who did not get her perfect score last week.
Yeah, one, I think this was a fantastic dance. I think Robert and Whitney will probably win the season, but if they don't, I think Alex and Val are going to win the season. And I'm almost rooting for that just as a contrarian, just because Robert, it did feel, I tweeted the first week, like Robert's probably going to win. If Robert wins, he deserves it. Hundo P. This, I think, is Robert's opposition to winning the show. They are fantastic. They did seem very like angry. I don't know what it was. Like, go back and watch it.
Weird.
They just both looked. I think Val looked angry. I think Alex, when getting her scores and getting judged, didn't look happy. I don't think it had anything to do with the dance. It's not my business what it was about. As somebody with a microphone that I bought on Amazon, I feel qualified to talk about that. I noticed it. They just didn't look happy, and I'm wondering if maybe I was the only one that noticed it. I don't know. It just felt with the dance. I thought was great. It just that part felt weird.
Yeah. I loved it. I felt like this time Val has stepped his game up with the production, the blocking, right? Like the lights. I don't know. It's just I was in it this time. I'm still not and this is a Sasha problem, not an Alex problem anymore. But I just felt like I'm not really like vibing. Like I wasn't like, this is my girl, right? But when I watched it, I still really enjoyed everything about it. And her best costume of the night, 100%.
She looked so good.
So good. And to me, like that's half the battle, right? Like when you see the package presented to you, you're instantly bought in. So something was still like not connecting with me. And I'm happy to say it's on me because I still think it was a technically like perfect dance, right?
Yeah.
And it just felt like really good. And yeah, and even chat was saying, right, Lily, says that even the judges didn't seem to have like a crazy reaction to it. So I don't know like what it was for me, but I really enjoyed it. And I couldn't like 100% be bought into it, but either way, deserved.
It brought me the costuming really brought me like into the world that Val was trying to put
Exactly.
together. I thought this was a really good number for them. And I've been saying this for at least a week or two now that I feel like Alex is, I agree with the judges, really kind of been giving her all into the show more than earlier. I think that's the case for a handful of celebrities, especially when you get to this point in the season. As Alex said in the intro package, you gotta get rid of all of the fear. You got to get rid of all of the like, oh, I'm embarrassed to do this, because there is a little bit of that when you first get on stage and you're like, I'm dancing in front of everybody. Everyone's watching me dance. I'm sure for someone who's not a natural performer, or maybe just hasn't been doing that regularly. I know Alex had dance experience. That's a factor of some sort, but you can see that washing away as the season goes on, and she's just giving it her all week after week. She's determined to win. She wants to take Robert down. Like, we're talking about her as a contender. She wants to do that. She wants to win so badly. Like, that would be incredible for her and her career, and just like just for the fun of winning Dancing with the Stars. So you can see it, how badly she wants to do it. I thought this was another great performance, very worthy of a perfect score, just like last week was. But you know, Flava Flav was doing his thing, giving the wrong number. I think we discovered this after the podcast ended. He tweeted that he meant to give it a 10, and he locked in the wrong score, and they wouldn't let him change it. So
The opposite, right, of Gene. Oh no, Gene also locked in the wrong score.
yeah.
I just
So
didn't know if
God
it was up
forbid.
or down. Yeah,
mistakes are
remember.
made, and they're rectified now. She's got her perfect score here, the two of them. So they're going to be in the finale. It's just
Oh.
a matter of, as Brandon was saying, like, can they overtake Robert? Maybe.
Again, I haven't been here obviously the past few
Yeah.
weeks since the start, but Alex has had consistently my favorite dance of the night the past few nights, or the past few weeks rather. I really think that they can win, and I do. It's interesting to hear, Sasha, that you don't feel connected. I do feel very bought in. I think tonight was a weird vibe shift, and I hope they're both good. But I do feel connected, and I wonder. I mean, I think that like the Gen Z vote, who like knows and loves Alex Earl, like they're watching and they're seeing somebody that they know succeed a lot. I wonder if like the middle America, older folks, the people that I imagine like know and recognize Elaine and know and recognize Andy, I wonder if they're voting for Alex the same way that I think her fans so passionately are. But I do think that, yeah, if it's not Robert, I think they win.
And if it's not them, there's a chance maybe it's Whitney and Mark.
Oh yeah. Also, sorry, one more thing.
Yeah, sorry.
I just really also the foot thing at the end was beautiful. With
Alex
Val and
Val.
Alex.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, yeah, thanks, Stephanie. I wrote that in my notes and then I forgot. But it's just again those little moments that Val was able to bring out from her. Obsessed.
Yeah. A great week for them, and a great week for Whitney and Mark with a perfect score here as well. Not surprising that this couple has just maintained their top spot on the leaderboard. The whole story here is that, of course, they were the top scoring couple last week, and then the cumulative score ended up putting them in the top spot to not have to compete in the relay dances. Though, as Whitney says, she was feeling some FOMO this week that everybody got to dance with like a former winner, and she could not be involved because she already had technically won by getting the 2 extra points, and she was already immune from all of that, whatever the case was. So I did feel like that was a little weird. But Brandon, what'd you think of Whitney and Mark and the 7th or 8th or 9th cell block tango performance on Dancing with the Stars all time?
I thought this was great. No complaints. I thought it was so much fun. My favorite dance of the season thus far is their Halloween dance when they dance to Brain Stew by Green Day. Yeah. I think like that's why I love this show, is stuff like that. This was great. This is a dance style that I'm not particularly like pulled to when it's happening. I know that the folks who really love, ballroom dancing obviously are. But I think she's great. I think that I've seen that, Matt, you would know, given it's a Glee quote, but like people throw out what somebody said about Rachel Berry, like she's difficult, but she can sing. Like, I think that that's what everybody's thoughts are about Whitney. I'm still in the dark about why people are so anti-Whitney at this moment. I posted on my Instagram a very funny thing. And if you're watching this, I love you. But I did post on my Instagram story, tonight is the night that we need to stop voting for Andy. And I had many DMs saying, I hope it's Whitney, specifically calling out Whitney. So I am unsure how Whitney's staying as long as she is with so many people who seem to really, really dislike her. But she's a great dancer. She's a really great dancer.
I mean, the answer is right next to her, Mark Ballas. But I've seen that too. It's all over social media of people actively trying to get Whitney out. Now, unfortunately for them, you can't vote someone out of the show. All you can do is vote for, I guess, whoever you think is the closest to the bottom and try to boost them while not actively voting for Whitney. But you can't vote someone out. So I don't know how well that's going to work, especially because their scores from the judges' side of things are not going any farther down than they are right now. If they got They're not going to get another 8 for the rest of the season. I would almost be surprised if they get 9s. I do expect 1 or 2 along the way, but they are going to stay consistently high on the leaderboard. Sasha, what do you think of their performance tonight, though?
So good. Can I just say, I don't care how many times they do this song. It's just one of my favorite musical songs because it's so sexy, right? Like it's so in your face. And Chicago is such a fun musical that I actually seen it like a few years ago with in London with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Okay.
And yeah, it is just again like I love this song. I think the song is funny and I've been asking for Whitney to get something like this, right? Like a little bit slower so she can like show a different side. So she's not just like doing the permanent like TikTok influencer face that she's always doing. So that felt nice. The Mormon line was so funny. And I just
Yeah.
like again didn't put it together until I heard it. And I said, oh, yes. That was it's just I don't know. I this was one of the best performances for me. Mark just doesn't miss, right? And I think Whitney's a great compliment to him. But yeah, I've also seen all the hate as like someone that didn't like Whitney coming into this season. Like I can't be mad at the hate. Like there's a lot of stuff she's done. We don't need to bring that stuff up on the pod. If y'all want to know, like, there's enough like Reddit and online shit that you can check. But just know that yeah, her beliefs are interesting. And maybe we all don't agree with them, or we do. It is what it is at this point. But I likes her. I mean, I like Mark. And I like what Mark's able to bring out of Whitney.
I love Mark. I
Well,
love Mark so much.
I'm gonna like him a lot more in a couple of weeks when I get to watch him in a whole different arena. Not that I don't like him now. I love Mark Ballas, but I'm just not rooting for this couple the most, even though they are really good. I'm not like in this like get Whitney out of here club that a lot of people are in, but no, I don't need her to win. And if she happened to be the last boot before the finale, which she's not going to be, I would be okay. But they're just like they closed the show, for a reason. Obviously, they switch up the order all the time, but like this was going to be a really good ending. Plus, the fact that they don't get to go in the relay dance, as Tom points out in his judging, was, hey, by the way, you guys might be screwed because you don't get to dance again, and people are going to forget about you. So vote. And that was the commentary there. Tom was having a good time. He said a couple does. He put the 10 title up in the air, and he was like 10, duh.
I like that a lot.
Also, good. Tom like threatening the audience. Yeah, I think I'll say threatening the audience.
What did he say?
Where he was like, Whitney, as a host, I'm just saying it is crazy that we're not going to see you again. I hope the audience doesn't forget about you. And I was like, oh my God, Tom.
Yes. Using his time as wisely as he could.
Yep.
So Whitney and Mark make it through the night. No surprise there. But let's talk about the first of our relays. And
well,
Brendan,
what a picture. Sorry.
I know they got these shots of all of the winners coming out. Brandon, Apollo Anton Ono, Rashad Jennings, 2 winners are back, and they're joining our current celebrities. Rashad is with Elaine, and Apollo is with Jordan. Anywhere you want to go with this?
I mean, love to see these two. It's so funny. Gino from Big Brother Canada, which is a reference for 10 people. He was in the audience. He did the show Got to Get Out that was on Hulu with Rashad. So Rashad's bringing his friends.
And Val.
I love that. What's that?
And Val. Val was.
And Val.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's watching his bodies, which I love. Demi, former guest of this podcast, also on Got to Get Out. So I saw that.
My girl on the Traders. Yeah.
yes. Shout out to Gino. However, I did think that I thought these were actually relatively even. Elaine I don't know if it was Elaine or Rashad, like they missed a step at the end. That was like a very noticeable. They both kicked the same foot. My girlfriend noticed it. I did not notice it, but they both kicked the same foot. And then I rewound it and I saw it. But otherwise, I thought this was relatively evenly matched. But it is, I mean, for me, who like loved this show and grew up with the show, like I watched Rashad in my adult life, like seeing Apollo Antonono for the now the third time, like that's crazy cool.
Screaming
And I also like, I think they, I mean, again, nobody cares but me about like this super fan of it all. Of like, they really kind of back half the winners, and they have just Apollo Antonono here. Like, I would have rather had a wider spread of winners rather than have like a couple people from the last few seasons. Which I guess Rashad won 24. But
big jump.
Yeah. Apollo won 4. He won the 4th season. I was in like 3rd or 4th grade. Crazy.
Yeah, watching him and Julianne win. As she said, that was her first season, her first pro. And so I don't know. I was just like getting all the nostalgic feelings. I assume Cheryl was in the group number. I didn't really totally catch her throughout the night. But
I don't think that she was.
No.
Oh no.
I don't.
Well,
think
she was
so.
definitely there. I knew she said she would be there.
She was sitting. I saw her.
So she was in the audience.
She made like a weird face. When they turned to her, and it felt like it was right after judging. So again, this could be Sasha, projecting, but it felt like when they cut to her, she was kind of like, just gave a little bit of a random side eye.
I was just like hoping, like, come on, Cheryl and Emmett maybe come out and do a little something. Like, let's really go back. I know that John O'Hurley, I think, right, is his name, was in the audience, but no Kelly Monaco. So
no Kelly Monaco. Yeah, I mean, they had such a spread. And again, they're never all going to be there at the same time, other than like a, God forbid, because I love the show so much, as do all of us, like a finale.
Yeah.
Totality finale celebration. I would have loved to have worked in more of them. And maybe this was a testament to, so many things tonight went right that maybe they pitch next year, like, oh, we're going to have alumni night. And then we do this with 10 couples as opposed to 6. Like, we have a person, if they all love the show so much, they're all there, so who knows?
Apparently Kelly was there. Sorry. I did not.
Everybody was there, man.
Did not know. Did not see her.
Yeah.
They showed her a lot.
I didn't see her.
I don't know what Kelly Monaco looks like today.
I do know what Donald Driver looks like. I guess it's the person next to Donald Driver.
Wait, but some of the like new faces of these folks.
Happy Hollywood. Yeah, these were fun performances though. I thought that Jordan and Apollo did a really strong start with this quick step. It is funny because you're watching these celebrities that have been with the same partner week after week. And I'm like, where's Ezra? Where's I'm like, this isn't who your partner is. What's going on here? But like in other moments, like with Dylan, I was like really looking forward to seeing him with somebody else. I did think that like the Jordan Apollo dynamic didn't look super like they were like having the best time, but they were doing a very fun dance, and seeing Apollo still had it was great. And then for Elaine and Rashad, they looked like they were having a little bit more fun. I wasn't surprised that this ended up going Jordan's way. She gets a bonus 2 points there. It was a fun start to the relay round.
Yeah, I think I loved all the relays in general. I was like, oh my God, how are they going to pick? I think the nostalgia factor, like, I'm a millennial. I love a good nostalgia moment, right?
Yeah.
But the nostalgia with just like, I think how free the dancer, I don't know, the celebs competing felt were, it was great. And these winners, I feel like came to play. Like no one, I was like, I was afraid that we'd get you're holding, X person back, or you messed up, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's just, I loved it. I was like, how are they going to decide? I felt like that for almost everyone except Andy, obviously. But, I was just like, how are they going to decide? Because, and for this particular pairing, it's not that Elaine was bad. First of all, why'd they put my girls together? Should have put Elaine and Andy together. No? Just saying.
Yeah, I thought that. I thought that was going to be the matchup, and then it was not.
Yeah. But either way, I really, really liked it. And I couldn't pick between Jordan and Elaine, right? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
do you want, a classic, like they gave the feedback, or someone that's more bubbly and, entertaining? But either way, everyone killed it. And I really thought Ezra would come in as the third at one point, with how like separation anxiety they were
Yeah.
having. Like, how Ezra and Jordan's dad, when they did that
Yeah.
trio dance. So yeah, it's just, this was great. I really hope they bring some kind of version of this back. Bring more alums. Like, I don't know why. Something worked, and it was really good.
Amber Riley, I know you're listening to this. You didn't want to answer the call? Come on. Like, you win every show you go on. You could have come back and won this relay round. You would have.
It's true.
Apollo Antano, no, that's my final statement on this group. And then we had Rumor Willis and Caitlin Bristow back for the second round, where Dylan Efron was partnered with Rumor, Andy was partnered with Caitlin. Caitlin is another person, I don't know, similar to, I guess, what I was getting from Danielle Fishel this season. That was just like, I love every second. I'm soaking up every second of this experience. She was so excited to be on the show in the first place, ultimately goes on and gets the win, and just like the best experience of her life as far as we could tell. So I was so excited to see her back, and she was able to just have fun with Andy. It felt like low pressure for her. You see in the rehearsals, they were having a good time. And then Rumor and Dylan were just like incredible. And I was taken so by surprise by that. Rumor season was one of them that I was like maybe paying attention to by looking at the Wikipedia page every week rather than actually tuning in. It was around that time. So I didn't know what to expect, but I was like, oh my God, of course she won. So Sasha, what do you think of this?
Yeah, I think Rumor and Dylan's dance, to me, was one of Dylan's best dances. Again, because they felt so evenly matched, where Rumor was still amazing, but something in her, what she was able to bring out of Dylan, that I think Daniela, and this is not shade, right? Like, y'all will never catch me, dragging a confident woman. But I think Daniela is so good and confident in your face that it's, you can't help but zero in on her, versus I think Rumor and Dylan, you don't feel that way, right, about Rumor. So I don't know, I really enjoyed it. And I say, oh, now maybe I can get on Dylan train, as opposed to like where y'all all have been, where I was like, okay, now I'll allow Dylan to stay on my show, compared to before. But again, it's just with Dylan, I with Daniela, I think Dylan like fades a little, but either way, it's just I loved it. I loved it. And I appreciated Caitlin being like, no, Andy, you can be sexy. Like, let's do this.
I mean, the shirt, right, is where we talk about hot topic here. She rips the shirt open, which is just so funny. I mean, like, I love playing around with that kind of visual gag when all of the guys on this show, Joey's shirt was opened in under a second when he was out there in the next one. So she rips open Andy's shirt, and for a second I said, what? Oh, oh, that's funny. I just wasn't expecting that. And obviously that gets everybody laughing. If you're getting any last minute votes into Andy's bucket, or whatever you want to say, it was definitely going to work. Brandon, what'd you think of all this?
We're making this man dance to Earned It by the Weekend. We're making Andy Richter dance to Earn. Do you know the lyrics of Earned It by the Weekend? Google it. If you don't know, Google it. We're making Andy dance to that?
Wait, not only that, Brandon, the live version.
Yeah. Didn't love it, but I'm glad Andy had fun.
Oh, he had fun.
Awesome. The way that they were like, was that Andy's like son in the audience? That was just like he was just cringing. It was so good.
You thought of my father dancing to Earned It by the Weekend. Just
no, when they gave this song, I was like, you are joking me.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
The way that they were like petting his ab shirt was crazy. They were having way too much fun.
Abs with wrinkles.
Yeah,
that's just the Drake plastic surgery.
There is no actor from the film Elf that I want to see dancing to Earned It by the Weekend in any capacity. None of them. All of them are tied for 0.
You just didn't need to do that because I was like, no, let Andy have his moment. Now you said this,
But
he had a lot of fun.
Sasha, I did enjoy the moment that you mentioned earlier of like Danny being so proud of Dylan and Rumor. Like, again, they were really good, and she saw that, and she was like, "Oh, like I didn't. I'm not." You see like Emma that like feel like they have to jump in front of their celebrity to like just overpower and steal the show, and she obviously was watching this in the same way of like talking about Ezra wanting to jump in, and she was just like, "Oh, like that was really good. I'm so proud of them." I thought that was cute.
I wasted my feedback when we talked about Dylan's prior dance, but I do think that like whatever him and Rumor have like is so much better. I think like it feels like a more organic, natural connection than an already organic, natural connection with Dylan and Danny. I don't know why it feels. I guess this might be it. What Francesca's saying now, that it is maybe a height difference, but it felt like seeing Dylan dance with Emma, and Emma hasn't had a partner who is like ready to rock and roll in quite some time. And I'm just curious of
But Dylan could also be intimidated. I wonder, like, again, this is I don't know anything about anything, but I wonder if Dylan feels I would be intimidated if I'm dancing with a badass like Daniela versus like, right? Like maybe the pressure's off a little.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I see that. And Rumor, not for anything, Rumor might be one of in the top 5 like best dancers that are not.
Yeah.
I think Jordan Fisher is probably a clear 1, and Charlie are probably maybe tied for 1.
Yeah.
And then I think Rumor is right there. Rumor is fantastic.
Yeah, the biggest issue I will ever have with Dancing with the Stars as of now is the inability to rewatch old seasons, because all of these that I, may have not been all the way in checking out, and I get it, licensing, music, all that stuff, but I just have to watch, like, Google every YouTube video for every dance of the season in order to rewatch it. It's tough.
The chat also is saying Meryl Davis, and Meryl Davis is in maybe the top 5 should be a top 10, because I think Amber Riley is in there also.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, it's too much, too many people.
We'll do the ranking sometime.
And Chandler in my heart, obviously.
Yes,
and Chandler in my heart also.
And then the final relay here was
Chandler. No, I'm just kidding.
Alex and Joey against Robert and Sochi, and we're starting with the Sochi and Robert chemistry is our headline out of all of this.
Oh my god. They got it, dude.
And the age.
And the age.
Because I said, yes, finally I can. Because y'all, I saw online someone was shipping Whitney and him, and I was like, are you dumb? Are dumb? Stop this. Like, whatever we're doing. But these two, I'm like, how do I make it happen? I love shipping people. I love bringing people together. How do I personally do this?
They blushed a lot when they said that.
And not for anything, Whitney gave a look. Whitney knows. It's not just the viewing public. Whitney gave an indication of like, I've also thought this in the past few days.
Yeah. Look, Robert, you see a young 21-year-old handsome man that just looks like he has it all. You're like, someone come get your man. And he's about to be a Mirrorball champion.
Dating someone allegedly. That's what the streets are saying.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. Maybe that's why like, because Terry Irwin did not look like she was enjoying.
No.
She's like, no, listen, judge my son. Okay, don't do this. But I don't know. I love them. I loved it.
And Joey's back. He's been gone so long. We haven't seen him at all this season. He's been missing in action. He hasn't been on every single episode. He's not hosting a podcast about the show. I was like, I'm happy to see Joey dance, because like you said, Brandon, like, this man can dance. Obviously he won for a reason, but I was also like, I see him every week, and maybe there was like any other winner that could have come back. I'm happy that Joey was there, because again, it's fun to watch him dance, but we see him every week.
I would have loved Emmett. Emmett was in the audience. I would have loved to see Emmett Smith be he's the only one that I would have
remember that,
who I saw in the room. I'm like, oh, that would have been nice. Yeah. I love Joey. My girlfriend and I both were watching Joey during the dance, and it was great.
Yeah. They were a great pair.
I think they couldn't have done that to Alex. They needed to
Sure.
give her someone, I think, pretty strong,
Well, I mean, I
especially
wanted to move things around, I guess, age-wise. They could have gone if Emmett was gonna be there with, Elaine and then let Rashad go with, Alex. That could have still been
And I think
maybe.
you have Alex with Joey, who was Jenna's partner with Val. Like I
yeah,
see the synergy there. They've probably like met each other a bunch and have had familiarity in the past few weeks more than you would with just Joey, who's running around the set. I'm sure there's been like deeper conversations that have happened there, so it
right.
makes sense. I did think their dance was better. I do think they dance better than Robert
Alex and
and
Joey?
Sochi. Yes.
Oh,
And
I
maybe
am not with that. A lot of people agree with you, Brandon, I'll say. But maybe it's the shipping that, if I
Yeah,
get a good ship, I don't care about nothing.
I think I was distracted by the shipping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the energy, I think, more that came off of Robert and Sochi, and so the first dance she hasn't first winner that hasn't this wasn't a dance that they had done on their season.
Yeah, she said she had not done a jive, Sochi.
So that's amazing. Like, shout
Crazy.
out to her. I loved it.
You get through a whole season and not do one of, like, the, I don't know, main styles. Maybe it's not a main
I feel like
style, just
I mean, this season too, right? Like, we're seeing a lot of stuff get
yeah,
reheated, without getting a lot of different
yeah,
styles. But I don't know. I like them better. Again, same reason where I liked Alex here a lot. I felt like she was so into it. Maybe like you're right, Brandon. Whatever maybe happened backstage, she, finally got out of that funk, or whatever. Maybe her aura got cleared. But and I truly understand that because if I'm in a bad mood, everybody in a bad mood.
sure.
So something changed, but even then, I just enjoyed Robert and Sochi better, and that's it.
it was a lot of fun in all these relays. I think mostly we agree on that. Obviously, the judges agreed they were having a hard time deciding the winner of this final round, but they end up awarding it to Robert and Whitney. The night ended with Dylan and Danny, Robert and Whitney, and then Whitney and Mark tied at the top of the leaderboard with 42 points, followed by Alex and Val, followed by Jordan and Ezra, then Elaine and Alan, and then Andy and Emma at the bottom. Again, ultimately, we lose Andy and Emma. So Sasha, we can kind of move forward into like the contenders are all there in the semifinals, like the real contenders to win. I hope that everybody that was voting, all the fandies, had a lot of fun along the way. I hope you got, probably got more than your money's worth for the amount of time that Andy was there. But we got 2 weeks left of this show, including the finals in 2 weeks from now. So I think we're in for a very fun, march to the finish.
Yeah, I'm excited. Again, if Andy was there, I think I would have full on started voting for him. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm a troll. I like doing stuff like that. It would have been so silly. But again, I think we can start the competition in a lot of ways. A lot of folks can win. I do think, like we said at the start, right? Like Jordan and Elaine might be next out. But personally, if Dylan went, I wouldn't be sad. Danielle, I mean, I will be, but if
Yeah.
Dylan wins, okay.
Brandon, where you at?
Well, I think I had said just in my previous critique that I think it's between Robert and Alex. I do think that I think it's between Robert and Alex, but there are like 4 other eligible winner contenders that are there in a franchise where normally at this stage you're looking at 2, at most 3. Like it's a wide open game. Will it, like Dylan, I think is a harder sell. I think Jordan is unfortunately a harder sell, despite I think Jordan being better than a lot of the people that are here. I think Elaine, who knows? But it could be anybody, and I'm really excited to see something that feels wide open. And I think the dances in the next 2 weeks like matter. Like I think that people have their people they like, and they're going to consistently vote it for. I only voted for Jordan this evening. I will likely be doing that next week. But I'm excited to see people really go hard in the paint. There's no more 7s. There's no more 8s. That is over. The 6 paddles, as soon as Andy leaves, they just put them away until next year, until we see, I don't know who's going to compete,
The 6s are gone. The 7s are gone. The 8s, good chance that they're gone at this point. So, it's just a matter of the 9s and 10s and really the vote. at this point.
Yeah, I think it's just vote for Jordan and Elaine, everyone. Please and thank you. Chaz also asked, do we think they do a fake out? And it's
I thought they were
all
going to do that this week.
right.
I'm done with the fake out.
I
No more.
know.
This is a show with eliminations.
I
Stopped. I thought it was happening tonight.
did.
I
Yeah.
was like, please.
Because
just
when the
let people
timing,
go.
right? I was like,
And
wait,
they
we have
did it
1
a
minute
wide
left.
shot. That plus they did a wide shot of all the couples, and I was like, oh, he's about to say everyone's made the semifinals. I was like, no. They would have, I guess, sent home 2 couples next week if they did that, but like, no, 1 couple a week goes home.
I like these shows. Your Survivors, your Big Brothers, your American Idols, because somebody leaves once a week and it gives it stakes. And the more that we just randomly decide, hey, we all had fun tonight and it's the 20th anniversary, let's keep going. What are we doing here?
Right.
Please, eliminations. Eliminate more people every week. I don't care. do 4 in a night if they're not good.
Why not?
I am done with it's just a whole week that is just a wash if we don't eliminate anybody. And I really thought it was happening tonight.
I did too. Brandon, final thoughts on this week or well, I think we might be talking to you again maybe sometime later this season. We'll see. Hopefully that works out. But for now, final thoughts. Tom Bergeron was back, 20th birthday party. It was a fun night.
I had so much fun. I want to shout out somebody in the chat, Toothy, who said something about reheating the nachos, and then they said the microwave was busy, which I've been laughing about in my head.
No, it was
many minutes.
I know. It's just folks are so funny in the chat.
Yeah.
Like I'm just obsessed with it.
Shout out to
Toothy, when you see me say that somewhere publicly, just know it's you. I'm not going to give you credit, but know it's you.
You're reheating Toothy's nachos.
The microwave is busy.
Perfect.
I have nothing to plug. I had so much fun. I love this show so much. I know some people that are going to be in the audience next week. I don't want to say who they are in case they don't go, but you'll see them when you see them. They're people that if you're watching this, you know them also.
It's actually me because I won't be here next week.
Yes.
But no, that's not where I'll be, but I will not be here next week. So I'll get Brandon, anywhere you want people to find you online?
Just Instagram is Brandon Donlon. More than that, follow the Rob is a Podcast Instagram because I do run that, and I don't care if you follow me, but my boss cares if you follow that one. So follow that one in a big way if you don't already.
And what a fun time we are going to have over the next couple of months with said boss back on TV. It's going to be crazy. If you're not following the social media, if you're not following RHAP in general, again, if you just found this podcast network through Dancing with the Stars, come stick around because you will be watching Mark Ballas and Rob Sesternino and many other stars on the Traders in just a matter of weeks at this point, months, whatever you want to say. It's January right around the corner. In the meantime, check me out on the Free Agents podcast, where I will be talking about that season of the Traders, as well as the challenge, the Amazing Race, all the reality TV, and the Diary Room podcast, talking about Big Brother all year round. We had Taron Armstrong himself on last week, and this week, Eric Goddamn Stein was the guest on the podcast, and it was an incredible time. Longest
really
podcast
good.
we've had. I just can't believe that I got to do a podcast with Eric Stein talking Big Brother. Check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, all things here on WeKnowDancingWithTheStars.com. Subscribe, like the video, comment on the video. Let us know what you think. All of those things. Sasha, am I forgetting anything for this podcast before we find out anything else from you? I think
No, just leave us a review, like this video. Thanks.
Yeah. And Sasha, Mess Magnets.
Yeah, check out Mess Magnets, where, listen, if it's trending, we're talking about it. Check out all the pop culture goss over on Mess Magnets.
Yeah, there we go. And be back here next week. Sasha will have a great guest with her for Prince Night, the semifinals of Dancing with the Stars season 34. Thank you all. Anyone that's been in the chat with us all night, really appreciate you hanging out with us. And anybody that's listening to this after the fact, we appreciate you just as much. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the 20th birthday party for Dancing with the Stars. Happy birthday to this incredible show in such a resurgence right now. We will catch you guys all next time. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.